Good morning. We're convening this Thursday, February 13th, 2025 hearing for the Energy Environmental Protection Committee. We're going to immediately recess as we are also, half of the committee is participating in the CPC JHA hearing next door. And we plan to reconvene, I would say, in about 20 minutes from now. Recess.
right, good morning or almost afternoon. Thank you all for your patience. We are back. It is 10:15. It is 11 a.m., but we're on the 10:15 a.m. agenda. Committee on Energy and Environmental Protection, conference room 325. We're gonna, in the interest of time, just move right forward. First up, we have House Bill 332 relating to recycling, and first up to testify, we have Department of Health. Okay, we do, can everyone come up to the mic just so that it's audible to everyone watching on stream?
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Okay. Yeah, good morning, Chair, Vice Chair, members of the committee. Leno Thu for Department of Health. We stand on our written testimony providing comments on the measure.
Thank you. And then we have Hawaii State Energy Office.
Aloha Chair, Vice Chair, Member Maria Tome, Hawaii State Energy Office. We will stand on our written testimony with comments.
Thank you, followed by Climate Commission.
Hello, Chair, Vice Chair, members of the committee. Leah Laramie with the Climate Change Mitigation and Adaptation Commission. We stand on our testimony and support. Mahalo.
Thank you. And then Hawaii Food Industry Association on Zoom, not present. Retail Merchants of Hawaii on Zoom, not present. Consumer Technology Association on Zoom. Oh, hello. Go ahead.
Morning, Chair. Ryan Toyomura on behalf of CTA. We're submitting testimony in opposition to HB 332, but to the extent that this measure is considered, we'd ask the committee to look carefully at the testimony submitted by PRBA, which has significant experience dealing with recycling matters related to lithium-ion batteries and batteries in general. So with that, any questions you might have, I'm here for that. So thank you.
Thank you. And then we have PRBA on Zoom, not present. And we have additional written testimony that was submitted that we did review. Is there anyone else here to testify on this measure? If not, members, questions? All right, seeing none, we will move on. House Bill 256 relating to environmental protection. This codifies, kind of upholds the current level of regulation at the EPA that would apply to, I think, clean air. And first up to testify, we have Department of Health.
Good morning, Chair, Vice Chair, and committee members. Marianne Rossio from the Department of Health. The department stands on its written testimony, offering comments, and we're here if you have any questions. Thank you.
Thank you. And Climate Protectors Hawaii, Ted Bolin.
Thank you, Chair, Vice Chair, members of the committee. Ted Bolin for the Climate Protectors Hawaii. We support the intent of this bill to protect against, I would call it backsliding of standards to protect people from toxic emissions. We would propose an amendment, however, on page 2, line 1. We would strike existed on December 31st, 2024, and substitute, quote, as proposed by U.S. EPA in draft rules issued on January 23rd, 2024. The reason we propose this amendment is that in the process on the federal government level, the rules were watered down and they need to be stronger, and the draft rule was superior, and we should adopt that instead in this bill. Thank you for the opportunity to testify. Available for questions.
Thank you. And that is everyone we have signed up to testify in person or on Zoom. We have additional written testimony we have reviewed. Is there anyone else here to testify? Please come forward.
Apologies, Chair. Ryan Toyomura on behalf of ReWorld. So we did submit testimony, and I think maybe the noting that I was going to be in person wasn't made to the committee. But we are submitting testimony in strong support of HB 256, noting that ReWorld does operate the city-owned H-Power facility here in Honolulu, and we've far below the emission standards set by the by the EPA. And we support this bill in order to continue our commitment to keeping well below those emission standards by the federal government. So we ask for this committee to support this measure. Thank you.
Thank you. That is everyone we have, unless there's anyone else. Seeing no one, members, any questions? Seeing none, we'll move on. House Bill 348 relating to single-use plastics. We've seen this bill many years in a row now. This would prohibit lodging establishments from providing personal care products in small plastic containers. It would encourage them to transition to bulk or more sustainable packaging. And first up to testify, we have Department of Health.
Good morning, Leno Thu for Department of Health, and we stand on our written testimony providing comments on the measure.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And then Starn O'Toole, Marcus Fisher on Zoom. Go ahead.
Good morning. So Sarah Strona on behalf of Starn O'Toole, Marcus and Fisher. We stand on the written testimony that we submitted to the committee.
Thank you. And then we have Surfrider Foundation.
Aloha Chair, Vice Chair, members of the committee. My name is Hannah Lilly. I am the Hawaii Regional Manager for Surfrider Foundation. I offer this testimony on behalf of all 3 chapters and the written testimony already submitted. We strongly support House Bill 348 for the following reasons. 1, this is a proactive measure which aligns with our ocean-friendly hotel program and meets one of our mandatory criteria. 2, as of December, the state of Hawaii received over 9.5 million visitors in 2024. That's over 6 times the state's population. The visitor industry significantly contributes to plastic pollution, which often ends up on our beaches and oceans. With over 150 hotels in Hawaii, this measure would save millions of single-use plastic bottles every year. There's a common-sense money-saving option for lodging establishments. In 2018, Marriott stated that they could save around $2,000 per hotel every year by switching from single-use toiletry bottles to bulk containers. This aligns with feedback received from an ocean-friendly hotel in Alaska that noted significant cost savings and found that tracking bulk containers is more efficient than tracking thousands of tiny bottles. Last point, with the number of lodging establishments that may be actively moving towards a more sustainable future, most have yet to adopt refillable toiletry containers. A regulatory approach sets the standard and provides a much-needed jumpstart to a more sustainable model. Washington, New York, California, and Illinois all have the similar regulations to ban or limit hotel toiletries. Thank you for the opportunity to testify.
Thank you. That's everyone we have signed up to testify in person or on Zoom. We have additional written testimony that we have reviewed. Is there anyone else here to testify on this measure? If not, members' questions?
Nope.
Great. Okay, moving on. House Bill 810 relating to noise pollution. This establishes a private right of action for any person aggrieved by violation of the FAA and existing federal laws to bring a civil action against owner or operator of a helicopter in violation and collect damages and litigation costs. And first up to testify, we have Department of Transportation with comments on Zoom. Not present. That's everyone we have to sign up to testify in person. Is there anyone else here to testify on this measure? And we do have additional written testimony we did review. Seeing no one, members, there's no one to ask questions of, so we will move on. House Bill 505 relating to Red Hill. This establishes a VI policy coordinator for coordination of Red Hill VI activities within DLNR. First up to testify, we have Department of Land and Natural Resources. No longer here, I guess, in support. We have Board of Water Supply.
Good morning, Chair and members. My name is Kathy Mitchell with the Board of Water Supply, and we strongly support House Bill 505 HD1. Thank you.
Thank you. And Hui Malama Pono Hawaii, Elima DaCosta. In support, not present. And Ka Lahui Hawaii on Zoom, not present. And we do have additional, we have an individual signed up to testify in person. Kimmer Nahonu Horson Big Horse, not present. And we have Patricia Green on Zoom, not present. Okay, if there's no one else here, is there anyone else here who would like to testify on this measure? We do have additional written testimony we did review. Members, any questions? All right, seeing none, the last bill that we're taking testimony for on this agenda is House Bill 975 relating to carbon sequestration incentives. This codifies and makes permanent the Hawaii Carbon Smart Land Management Assistant Program under DLNR. And first up to testify, we have the Climate Change Mitigation and Adaptation Commission.
Aloha, I'm Leah Laramie with the Climate Change Mitigation and Adaptation Commission. We just stand on our testimony in very strong support of this program. The Climate Commission has been the entity that's been helping to operate this program, and it's had really a lot of enthusiasm and support from the land managing community. So that's farmers, ranchers, and land managers, foresters. So we would just really appreciate that you folks are hearing this bill, and mahalo for your support. Aloha.
Thank you. And then the Office of Planning and Sustainable Development.
Aloha, Chair, Vice Chair, member of the committee. My name is Danielle Bass, State Sustainability Coordinator for OPSD. We support the intent of this bill, offer comments. Of course, we support our partners at DLNR and Department of Agriculture in this program. We did publish the carbon offsetting report in 2019, so we do caution carbon offsetting programs within the state of Hawaii and suggest the committee consider adding potential language specific to disallowing the use, engagement in, or administration of carbon offsetting for this program. Thank you, and I'm available for questions.
Great, thank you. And that's everyone I had signed up to testify. Oh, wait, no, we have Wayne Ogasawara. Okay, please come forward.
Aloha, I am not Wayne. My name is Emily. Thank you for the opportunity to speak on his behalf. Wayne did come this morning, but he is a farmer, and the Mahiai called him back. And so I just wanted to call attention to his testimony, which has also been submitted to you a little bit late, and you may not have had time to review it. He is a Carbon Smart land manager within our pilot program, and he came to represent the farmers that he also works with and to ask that this HB 975 be supported so that farmers like him may be able to have access to the resources for carbon smart sequestration strategies across the island. So mahalo nui.
Thank you. And that's everyone we have signed up to testify in person. We do have additional written testimony we did review. Was there anyone else here to testify on this measure? If not, members, questions? Quick question, I guess, for Climate Commission. Just like what kind of activities specifically are the funds that were
Allocated.
that you originally had used for?
It's a wide range. So we're doing some cover crops, some agroforestry, doing some work to get composting made out of, food waste. We are doing some reforestation projects as well for natural resource protection, invasive species control, silvopasture.
So what's the process by which, this is a kind of like, is it a reimbursement basis and this goes to the farmer? So what's the process by which you verify the activities?
So we have quarterly reporting where folks submit, what activities they've accomplished within that time. And also when they submit their invoices, that we also have them identify, what we're paying for. And then we're also doing soil core samples. So we're measuring before the activities begin and then after it happens to kind of see what the progress over time has been. And there's also been great interest for folks that are really interested in this and they want that to continue to happen. So our plan is to continue that monitoring in the long term, even if the funding is only for the short term.
Okay, so you are going out and doing site visits, or someone is to
Correct.
Kind of assess it.
Yeah.
Okay. And based on the comments from OPSD, I assume the concern is that these funds will be used to. I'm not quite sure exactly what the concern is, I guess. So maybe OPSD, if you want to explain, that the farmers would take the funds and use them to purchase carbon offsets elsewhere, or?
Thank you for the question, Chair. That's not the concern
Okay.
specifically. We just thought that if this is going to be codified as statute, it would be supportive to provide those guardrails so that future implementers, future land managers don't possibly use this program, which is about, sequestering the carbon in our own land, right? That's the intention. We don't really want to support carbon offsetting for, entities outside of the state of Hawaii to purchase any credits or anything like that. So it's just a guardrail.
Getting double paid for the same work.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Any other questions, members? All right. Seeing none, we need quorum before we can do decision making, so we'll recess. We'll come back when we have quorum for decision making. Thank you. All right, we are back for decision-making on the 10:15 a.m. agenda. Committee on Energy and Environmental Protection, Thursday, February 13th, room 325. And first up, we have House Bill 332 related to recycling. So we're going to turn this into a working group to assess recycling of small and medium format lithium-ion batteries and make, for them to assess the feasibility of recycling and make recommendations to the legislature. We'll have DOH chair the working group. Other members will include HSEO, a representative from the lithium-ion battery manufacturing industry, a lithium-ion battery recycler, collector, a representative from the waste shipping industry, a representative from an out-of-state lithium-ion battery recycler, a member from an EPR organization, a representative from a fire department, and others as invited by the chair. We'll make some technical amendments for clarity, consistency, and style, and to effect the date to July 1st, 3000. And we will also note in the committee report that an appropriation may be needed for this working group. We're not adding that at this time because our referral on this bill does not include finance. But we will note that we spoke with DOH. They suggested an amount of $75,000, and that potentially that funding could come out of the deposit beverage container special fund. With that, members, any discussion? Seeing none, Vice Chair.
On House Bill 332, Chair's recommendation is to pass with amendments. Chair and Vice Chair voting aye. Representative Kahaloa.
Aye.
Representative Kush.
Aye.
Representative Quinlan is excused, as is Representative Ward. Chair, your recommendation has been adopted.
Thank you. And House Bill 256 relating to environmental protection. We will adopt the Department of Health suggested amendment to clarify compliance with federal law unless those are made more stringent. And we will defect the date to July 1st, 3000. Members, any discussion? Seeing none, Vice Chair.
On House Bill 256, Chair's recommendation is to pass with amendments. Chair and Vice Chair voting aye, and noting the excused absence of Representative Quinlan and Representative Ward. Are there any reservations or no votes? Seeing none, Chair, your recommendation has been adopted.
Thank you. House Bill 348 relating to single-use plastics. We're going to move this forward as is. Members, discussion. Seeing none, Vice Chair.
On House Bill 348, HD1, Chair's recommendation is to pass as is. Chair and Vice Chair voting aye, noting the excused absences of Representative Quinlan and Ward. Are there any reservations or no votes? Seeing none, Chair, your recommendation has been adopted.
Thank you. And House Bill 810 relating to noise pollution. We'll also move this forward as is. Members, any discussion? Seeing none, Vice Chair.
On House Bill 810, HD1, Chair's recommendation is to pass as is. Chair and Vice Chair voting aye. Representative Quinlan and Representative Ward are excused. Are there any reservations or no votes?
Reservations.
Noting Rep. Cush's reservations. Chair, your recommendation has been adopted.
Thank you. And then House Bill 505 relating to Red Hill. We're going to move this forward as is. Members, any discussion? Seeing none, Vice Chair.
On House Bill 505, HD1, Chair's recommendation is to pass as is. Chair and Vice Chair voting aye. Noting the absences of Representative Quinlan and Representative Ward, are there any reservations or no votes? Seeing none, Chair, your recommendation is adopted.
Thank you. And then on House Bill 975 relating to carbon sequestration incentives, we will adopt Office of Planning and Sustainable Development suggested amendments, noting these are not to be used for carbon offsets. We will blank out the dollar amounts, but note those in the committee report and defect the date to July 1st, 3000. Members, any discussion? Seeing none, Vice Chair.
On House Bill 975, Chair's recommendation is to pass with amendments. Chair and Vice Chair voting aye, noting the excused absence of Representative Ward and Representative Quinlan. Are there any reservations or no votes? Seeing none, Chair, your recommendation has been adopted.
Thank you. And now moving on to the two items on our agenda for decision-making only. On House Bill 1476, we deferred decision-making on this because we still had questions for DLNR at the time who wasn't present, and got those questions answered and determined. We're going to defer this bill at this time, even though really appreciate the intent behind it and the concerns about not having proper oversight of spacecraft landing in state waters. So appreciate the introducer bringing this measure forward. Moving on to House Bill 974. Sorry, I'm reading through this all too quickly. We have a number of amendments on this, and I distributed proposed House draft to the members, so I'm just going to read a general summary of the amendments that we're making to House Bill 974. So we're going to add a definition of reserve fee and a separate definition of revenue, which will include the power purchase charges and reserve fees net of any applicable taxes and fees. We're going to clarify this applies to the duties of Department of Budget and Finance rather than the state generally, and that budget and finance obligation is limited to revenues associated with the step-in agreements. We're going to clarify that step-in agreements do not pledge the full faith and credit of the state or any state monies outside of revenues collected as described in this bill. The trust fund for holding these revenues will be established outside, not inside the state treasury, so we're making that change. Also clarifies the obligation of the utility to continue to bill, collect, and manage revenues even in the event of a default. We clarify that power purchase charges will cover any administrative costs incurred by the department related to this act, but not necessarily administrative charges of the utility. We clarify that if there's a successor utility, the funds transfer to them when the step-in agreement ends. We clarify that if the step-in agreement terminates, all money remaining in the reserve fund from the reserve fees will be returned in full, including interest, to customers through a rate credit. We're going to make amendments to the purpose clause to reflect these changes and numerous technical amendments for clarity, consistency, and style. We will defect the date to July 1st, 3000. And then in addition, I want to make a note in the committee report that the consumer advocate indicated that counter to their original testimony on this measure, a reserve fee may not be constitutionally required as they had previously thought. We're going to leave that in the bill for now because it's unclear whether this bill would serve its intended purpose of addressing the concerns about being able to obtain financing if we pass it out without the reserve fee requirement and the reserve fund requirement. But we need continued discussion around whether we can accomplish what needs to be accomplished without a customer surcharge. If we can, obviously that would be preferable. So with that, members, any discussion? All right, seeing none, Vice Chair.
On House Bill 974, Chair's recommendation is to pass with amendments. Chair and Vice Chair voting aye, noting the excused absence of Representative Quinlan and Representative Ward. Are there any reservations or no votes? Seeing none, Chair recommendation has been adopted.
All right, thank you, and we are adjourned.